As we all know, navigating finances in retirement can sometimes feel like walking through a maze. If you're a senior in the UK, or someone managing finances on behalf of a loved one, this is one video you can't afford to miss. The HMRC compliance checks are heading your way, and they could be closer than you think. Now, what does this mean for you? And more importantly, are you fully prepared? HMRC conducts these checks to ensure that your tax filings are correct and you're not missing any payments or benefits you might be entitled to. While this may seem like something that only applies to businesses, it also affects retirees, pensioners, and anyone who receives state benefits or income. Many seniors rely on these checks to verify that they are receiving all their eligible benefits. But what if there's an issue with your records? What if your pension is being taxed incorrectly? Or worse, what if you're inadvertently missing out on certain tax breaks or pension allowances that could make a big difference in your income? This video will walk you through what HMRC compliance checks actually mean for you, how they can affect your pension and benefits, and what steps you can take now to avoid any unpleasant surprises. We'll also cover the common mistakes that many seniors make during these checks and how you can prevent them. Whether you're receiving a pension, state benefits, or even income from part-time work, staying on top of these compliance checks is essential to maintaining your financial well-being in retirement. You've worked hard to get here, and we don't want you to risk anything that could affect your income. So, if you want to ensure you're fully prepared and avoid penalties, hit that like button now, and don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss the latest updates on protecting your hard-earned money. Let's dive in. Let's dive deeper into what HMRC compliance checks mean and why they are important for you. If you're someone who has worked for many years, paid taxes, and now rely on a pension or state benefits, you might be wondering, why does HMRC need to check my records? Well, the answer is simple. These checks are an important part of ensuring that everyone is following the tax laws, receiving the right benefits, and paying the correct amount of taxes. For you as a senior, these checks can have a direct impact on your pension income, benefits, and even any additional allowances you may be entitled to. But don't worry, understanding the process can help you feel more at ease and prepared. HMRC, or the Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, carries out these checks as part of their ongoing efforts to make sure that taxes and benefits are managed fairly and correctly. Many seniors may feel that HMRC's checks don't apply to them, but they are actually more common than you might think. Whether you are receiving your pension, state benefits, or any additional forms of income, HMRC wants to make sure everything is accurate. These checks are their way of confirming that your tax returns are correct and that you're getting the full support you deserve. Now, let's talk about how these compliance checks can affect your pension and benefits. For many seniors, pensions are the primary source of income, and it's essential that these payments are correctly handled. HMRC conducts checks to ensure that the right amount of tax is being deducted from your pension, that you are receiving any tax credits or allowances you're entitled to, and that your pension is being paid on time. But if something is wrong with your records, like an outdated address or an incorrect tax code, it could lead to issues that affect your payments. And if you haven't kept up to date with all your information, you could even miss out on allowances that you are eligible for, which could reduce your monthly income. For example, many seniors are entitled to marriage allowance or blind person's allowance, which can reduce the amount of tax you have to pay on your pension or benefits. But if your tax records are not up to date, or if HMRC's records are missing information about your eligibility, you could lose out on these allowances. This is where compliance checks come into play. HMRC will ensure that your records reflect your actual situation, and they will help make sure you're getting all the allowances you deserve. However, this doesn't mean you can just sit back and wait for everything to be corrected automatically. That's why it's essential for you to keep your records up to date. If there's a change in your circumstances, whether it's a change of address, a change in your marital status, or you've become eligible for certain allowances, it's your responsibility to inform HMRC. This ensures that they have the correct information when they conduct these checks. If your information is incorrect or outdated, it could lead to delays in payments, overpayments, or underpayments, and you might end up having to pay fines or repay any money that was paid incorrectly. Staying on top of these things is crucial for avoiding unnecessary stress. But don't think these checks are only about correcting mistakes. The compliance checks are also an opportunity to catch any errors or discrepancies before they turn into larger problems. For example, many people do not realize that pension income can be subject to taxation, and depending on how much you're earning from your pension, it may be taxable. HMRC will check to make sure you're paying the correct amount of tax and receiving the correct tax code. If they find anything wrong, they'll adjust your payments and, if needed, send you a revised pension amount. While this may seem like a lot to manage, remember that these checks are meant to protect you and ensure that you are paying what you should without overpaying or underpaying. It's also worth noting that the tax-free allowances that many seniors are entitled to can change. For example, the personal allowance, which is the amount you can earn before paying income tax, can fluctuate from year to year depending on the government's budget. If you haven't updated your details with HMRC or aren't aware of the changes, you could end up paying more tax than necessary. This is another reason why these checks are so important. They help ensure that the right amount of tax is deducted and that you aren't overpaying due to outdated information. So, how do you know if HMRC will be conducting a compliance check on your records? In most cases, HMRC will contact you if they need to review your situation. They'll send a letter explaining what they need, and they'll ask you to provide certain documents or information. It's important to respond to these requests promptly, as failure to do so could lead to fines or delays in processing your payments. But don't panic, these checks are routine, and they happen to many people. HMRC isn't trying to catch you out. They just want to make sure everything is accurate. Now, you might be thinking, how do I prepare for a compliance check? The first step is to make sure all of your personal information is up to date with HMRC. This includes your name, address, marital status, and any other details that could affect your tax status or pension payments. If anything has changed in your life, such as getting married, moving to a new address, or becoming eligible for a new allowance, let HMRC know as soon as possible. You can easily update your details through the HMRC website or by calling their helpline. The sooner you update them, the smoother your compliance check will go. It's also a good idea to keep all your records organized and easily accessible. HMRC might ask for documents such as your pension statements, tax returns, or bank statements to verify your income. Having everything ready and organized will make the process much quicker and easier. You don't want to be scrambling to find paperwork when HMRC requests it. One thing you may not know is that if HMRC finds that there have been mistakes in your records, they can adjust your payments accordingly. This means that you may either receive additional payments if HMRC owes you money, or you may have to repay money if they find that you've been overpaid. If you've been underpaid, don't worry, HMRC will correct this, and they may even offer to backdate any missed payments. On the flip side, if you've been overpaid, you may be asked to repay the money, and it's important to do this as soon as possible to avoid any further penalties. It's also worth noting that HMRC offers support for seniors, especially those who might find the process of keeping up with these compliance checks difficult. There are special helplines and resources available to guide you through the process. If you're not sure about something or need help understanding your tax code or pension details, don't hesitate to reach out. HMRC is there to help, and they want to make sure that you're receiving the benefits and payments you're entitled to. Finally, it's important to keep in mind that these compliance checks aren't meant to be intimidating or stressful. While they may seem overwhelming at first, they are simply a way for HMRC to ensure that everything is accurate and fair. They are there to help you, not penalize you. By staying organized, keeping your records updated, and reaching out for help if needed, you can make sure that the process goes as smoothly as possible. And remember, you've worked hard your entire life, and the government is here to help protect that financial security as you enjoy your retirement. As we wrap up, don't forget that staying on top of HMRC compliance checks is a key part of maintaining your financial well-being in retirement. It's always better to be proactive than to wait for something to go wrong. If you haven't updated your information recently, or if you're unsure whether everything is correct, take a few minutes today to check in with HMRC and make sure all your details are up to date. Before you go, if you found this information helpful, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more tips and updates that help you stay in control of your finances. We'll continue bringing you valuable advice so you can navigate these challenges with ease. Thanks for watching.